Hey guys, welcome to today's video, and it's another day, another concealer review, and today it's the turn of the Fenty Beauty Wear Even Hydrating Longwear Concealer. There are a lot of concealers being thrown at us at the minute, and I'm weak. I'm a weak person. I have no willpower when it comes to complexion products, but this just sounds like it ticks every single box for everything I want and need in a concealer. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a full review, so a full application and a full day wear test. So I will be back later on this evening with my final results and my final thoughts. So as I always say when I'm reviewing complexion products, I think it's really important that you just have a little bit of an idea about my skin type and what my preferences are in a concealer. So I'll just pop those on the screen for you now. So obviously for me, the main point of concern is my mature under eyes. How is it going to sit? How is it going to settle? Is it going to emphasize my mature under eyes, or is it going to minimize them? Before we jump into the application, I'll just give you a little bit of information on this concealer. So this concealer comes in a whopping 50 shades. That's how it's done. 50 shades, amazing. And I picked this up for €29. So it claims to have a medium buildable coverage with a natural second skin finish. It has an extreme longwear formula that resists creasing, fading, sweat and humidity. It hydrates and brightens instantly and through to 12 hours and continues to improve with consistent use. It won't settle into lines or accentuate texture, and it's transfer proof and waterproof. Okay, so yeah, tick, 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 tick. We'll see how we get on in the review. There's a massive range of shades available. I picked up 225N. I'm going to swatch it for you and obviously apply it for you. And I'm also going to include swatches from other shades that I use from other brands. Now, if you're interested in seeing videos like this on a weekly basis, then please do consider subscribing to the channel. Now, let's dive into the application. So when I'm reviewing complexion products, I like to do my makeup in the same order that I usually would. So that's eyes first. And I like to use complexion products that I know and use and love on a daily basis, so I know that they work well on my skin. And when I'm reviewing a concealer, I think it's important to look at what I need to cover today. So I have mature under eye, so I have quite a few fine lines, especially here and here. I have really dark under eyes. I obviously have thinning under eyes, so I have veins to cover. So, you know, we're gonna put this to the test today. Now, I picked this up in the shade 225N, and the shade range is absolutely unreal. 50 shades, amazing. However, I've not used this concealer yet on my face, but yesterday I was doing some swatches with some of my other concealers so that I can show you some shade comparisons. And when I swatched it, it was very light. And I was really shocked because on the website, the models are a lot darker than me. When I was purchasing this, I actually thought, oh gosh, this could be too dark for me. I'm thinking I might have the opposite problem, but maybe it will look different on my face. So I'll just swatch it on my hand for you first. Look at the applicator. The applicator is cool. So this is 225N, and I think that looks quite light. But like I said, I've included swatches against other shades that I use, so you'll be able to see the comparison there. So I always endeavour to do my concealer first. So this is definitely my bad eye, which is my left side. This isn't so bad. But let's just pop some here, just a little bit here. Looks like that, doesn't it? Let's see. So to blend it out today, I'm using my usual BK Beauty A506. This is my Holy Grail concealer brush. It's amazing. Okay, that blends really, really, really easily. So I'm looking for something that is lightweight, that is buildable. Wow, that is good. Okay. And then I'll just clean up my makeup there with this. What do you think? That's nice, isn't it? Okay. It feels really, really nice. It's not sitting into any lines. It's definitely brightened. It's covered the majority of the vein. Now I've turned my light right down here. So this is the side with, and this is without. Definitely brightening. Definitely feels like I've got nothing on. Let's try the other side. I don't like to bring concealer up to my lash line because my under eyes, my mature under eyes don't thank me for that. So just to bring you in, I usually get quite a bit of creasing here. I'm not seeing anything. And on this side, no creasing. Okay, that's a really, really good start. So just to show you the time, because I'll be doing a wear test today. So I will hope to keep this on for at least 10 hours. I will try to get to 10 hours. I'm gonna pop some foundation on now, but I just wanted to pop a bit around the face before I do, just to see. I've got a few blemishes around. Usually my nose is my most problematic area. I have broken capillaries there. And you know what, I'm yet to find an amazing concealer that will cover those. I think we could probably build it up under the eyes, but I don't want to, because if I build it up and then it goes wrong, I won't know if it's the concealer's fault or my fault. So I'm just going to apply as I usually would. That looks really nice on the skin, doesn't it? I'm actually thinking that it would probably work really nicely as a foundation. Okay, let me go off and finish off the rest of my makeup and then we will come to powder. So I'll be back in a mo. Okay, so I'm back and I finished the rest of my makeup. After I had put on my foundation, I did pop a little bit more concealer on, just around the sides of my mouth, on my forehead, and a little bit more around my nose, and it blended and settled really nicely. I think the concealer is looking really, really good, and still see a little bit of darkness coming through, but it doesn't claim to be full coverage, so I wouldn't actually expect one swipe to cover everything. I didn't want to build it up because I think sometimes you can review a product and it can go wrong because you've just put too much product on. But that, for me, would be completely acceptable. I really like how it looks under the eyes. It's definitely not started to settle, really. I mean, look, I have fine lines, especially here. And I always say in my videos, if there are lines there to begin with and you put product into those lines or onto those lines, it's going to settle in. So that for me is really not an issue. But looking under my eyes, they look super radiant. So yeah, definitely a luminous, radiant, hydrating, nice light coverage concealer. So as we are testing and reviewing, I would ordinarily avoid powder, but under my eyes sometimes needs it depending on which concealer I'm using. If a concealer is self-setting, brilliant. This doesn't seem like it is. I'm going to set my left under eye and I'm going to leave the right as it is. So then when we come back later on this evening, we can see how it performed. You know, did it really need powder or did it work well without? I'm going to use my trusty Huda Beauty Easy Bake in the shade Pound Cake. And as usual, I'm taking my trusty, don't know what it is, could be Morphe, don't know. It's seen better days, this brush, but it's so good for the under eyes. Before I powder, just to give it a chance, and I would say to always do this before you powder your under eyes, just pat out what could be any creasing. I'm gonna tap off the powder and then I'm just going to press it in under the eyes. And I'm not bringing the powder right up to my lash line because that's just asking for trouble. Just where my hollow is, basically. And I would always powder my nose because, as I said, I have broken capillaries and there's problems there. Okay, so first impressions are really good. It seems to be ticking all the boxes at the minute and fulfilling the claims of being hydrating, feeling serum-like. It does feel very skincare-esque. I'm liking how it's looking under my mature eyes for sure. So we'll be back later on to see how it's worn throughout the day, and I'll be back with my final thoughts. I will now insert some swatches against some of my usual concealer shades from other brands, and I will see you a little bit later on. Okay guys, it's the end of the wear test and it is now, and it's almost 8 p.m. So I've had it on for just shy of 10 hours now, and I have some thoughts. So first of all, it looks brilliant, 10 hours in. So this is the eye that I set, and I think that it looks exactly the same as when I left it. And this eye was the eye that wasn't set, and again, it looks just as good as it did earlier. There's been no significant creasing at all with this concealer, and that is what has blown me away with this concealer. I'm going to make a bit of a bold claim here. This concealer has settled the least amount of any concealer that I've ever used. Now, obviously it's early days. I still need to keep using this and keep testing it. But the first impressions are so good, and for it to still look really good 10 hours in on a powdered and non-powdered side, that is brilliant. And anywhere else that I place the product, it's continued to look really nice. It's not caked up. It's just felt really nice on the skin. It worked really well to spot conceal. Yeah, I'm really happy with how it looks on my whole face, not just my under eyes. So I have written down some notes as the day has gone on. So if we look at the claims, it claims to be crease resistant and doesn't settle into the lines, and I would agree with all of that. It doesn't wear, it doesn't fade. It kind of ticks all the boxes of all the claims. And one thing that I would say that I didn't expect is the luminosity that it would give the under eye. The brightening and the radiance that it gives is really pretty. Now, if I had to nitpick a couple of things, first of all, I would say that if you had oilier skin, I'm not sure how you would fare with this, because it is quite like skincare. It is quite serum-like. I'm not sure how it would work with excessive oils. Now, I have normal skin, really normal to dry, and it does feel very hydrating. I think if you did have oilier skin, you may need to set it with powder. Another thing that I wrote down was, first of all, the shade range is amazing, but I think because there were so many, I did feel a little bit overfaced. And when I picked my shade, I did pick a neutral shade, and I think it works for me. But when it came, it was quite lighter than what I expected it to be. So maybe just, you know, do a bit of research on the shades and make sure you get your correct one. I mean, this works for me. It's definitely a brightening concealer, but I think if I was to continue to use this and it made my top 5 for the future, I would invest in a darker shade. Now, looking at my under eyes, I feel like they're the same as when I applied earlier on. However, I am mildly regretting not building up the concealer, because there is still a little bit of darkness showing through, but there was when I applied. So I'm thinking that tomorrow I'm going to use this concealer and I'm going to build it up to a higher coverage, and I will pin in the comments how that works, because I think that's useful. So not everybody's going to be happy with coverage like this, you know, like quite a light coverage. So I will pin in the comments how it goes when you build it up a little bit more. It claims to be a medium coverage concealer. I would say it's more kind of between light and medium, but I think if you like a full coverage concealer, I don't know if this would be for you. It's definitely more on the light to medium side. So I think about what your preferences are. I like light to medium. I like light to medium buildable. So this is perfect for me. If you like a bit more coverage, you might not like this one. And I couldn't do the review without comparing it to my latest review of the Laura Mercier Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Concealer. Honestly, very similar. There is only a hair in the difference. So I'd say with the Laura Mercier, you get more coverage straight off the bat. However, I like how the Fenty sits better. I like how it sits on my mature under eyes. I like how they both sit on my mature under eyes. Honestly, I'm feeling a little bit spoiled right now that I've just found 2 concealers within consecutive weeks that I can see myself reaching for on a daily basis. I feel like mature skin has really been taken into consideration with these concealers. They're beautiful on mature under eyes. And if you have mature under eyes and you are looking for a new concealer, I can honestly recommend either of these 2, and I don't think you'd be disappointed. If I had to choose between the Laura Mercier and the Fenty, it would literally be a smidge ahead, but it would be the Fenty. And I didn't expect that, because since I've got the Laura Mercier, I've been using it every day and I've been absolutely loving it. The Fenty is really stunning. So yeah, it's difficult. And you know what? Early days. I will be continuing to use both of these concealers, so it's definitely not the last that you will have heard of them. But do check the pinned comments for my update on building up the coverage and how that worked out. So in summary, I really do think that if you have mature under eyes, you will love this Fenty concealer. Honestly, it's really nice. Okay, that brings us to the end of another video. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you being here. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next one. But until then, take care and bye for now.